Hello everyone, we are Group 5 and there are 5 members in our group. My name is Shuning Kong and I will introduce the presentation and the background of the company. This presentation will spread to 4 parts: introduction, background, theoretical underpin, and the conclusion. The need for international leadership professionals is on the rise due to the increasing internalization of the marketplace situation as well as the developing array of labor forces. It's important to note that leadership is an essential concept in the current world for reason that various countries have opened their borders for global trade. Where companies and organizations are in a progressive struggle to remain competitive and maintain an effective and efficient labor force. Whether local or international, it's the role and the responsibility of a leader to assent the subordinates of followers, set directions, and help them achieve a specific goal or objective. In order to do so, they have to establish an experienced vision that motivates others to accomplish. In general, great leaders hire, inspire, and attract great people and personalities. As a result, this presentation will discuss leadership skills and styles in the context of a global company. The company this report will explore is High-Tech Engineering, is a United States family-owned company that has been in operation for 60 years. HTE has been a manufacturing firm with approximately 300 employees that assist in producing small components for the aircraft industry. Over the year, Terry Bailey has been guiding the strategic operations and discussion as the leader, president of HTE. The president joined the company when it had a traditional structure supported by a very large corporate structure. This made Terry transform the company. Terry is a leader who believes in change as a factor that can significantly promote the productivity and success of HTE in the manufacturing sector. His need to implement new technologies and enhance leadership and management technologies was a clear indication that he was a leader who focused more on change. Induction. Terry is now to be a leader with a vision since it was displayed throughout the organization. However, his approaches to leadership developed instability among workers. This is due to the fact that they believed that the approach being used was not effective. The case mentions that the initiatives the president came up with reduce the moral and productivity of workers. For that reason, according to the employers at HTE, the president was a mastery because he attacked in a non-directive way and usually failed to listen to the idea and thought of his subordinates. He ultimately stayed down after running the company bankrupt with a cash flow crisis and large debt. That's what I'm going to talk about. I'd like to invite the next member of our team. Thank you.
My name is Liu Pan, and my speech is on the first question: issue in terrorist leadership, employee instability, structural error, wrong decision, confusing employee roles, employee discomfort, down for employee moral and production, communication gap, operational mistakes, cash flow crisis, large debt. Terrorist enigmatic leadership and management style have generated employee instability, structural error, wrong decision, confused employee roles, employee discomfort, down for employee moral and production, communication gap, and operational mistake leading to a cash flow crisis and a large debt. Thus, it is evident that in terrorist leadership style and approach, some changes were essential to avoid errors and make FTE better in quality. Either transformational change or dies. Taking over of the company, death of the company, implementation, some transformation change. From the transformational perspective, the FTE management should be informed that if Terra continues this kind of leadership, it may result in two possible outcomes. such as the taking over of the company or implementing radical change by the new owner's death of the company due to bankruptcy or receivership. Those Terry should immediately implement some transformational change, including rapidly, multiple, and fundamental change in his leadership and management practice. Transformation leadership. Building a vision to develop the organization identity on collective values, believing and energizing people to achieve the vision. The FTE board of directors should urgently be informed about the necessary change in leadership style of Terry from a transformational point of view, as Pierre Lay et al. Transformation leader building a vision to develop the organization identity on collective value. Transformation leader also believe in and emerging people to achieve their vision. However, Terry confusion leadership style and consisted of creating vision statement with a strong democrat that somehow failed to fit the vision of FTE. Even when Terry was at the midpoint of the change, his vision for the company was lost, and at the same time, the instability of the employee made it difficult to support the vision of the company. Therefore, going against the principle of transformational leadership, Terry's leadership failed to encourage people in achieving the goals of FTE. To avoid this, FTE should directly talk to Terry to meet the issue. Advice. Replacing the feeble existing capability of the employee by new capabilities. Erasing structure and ambidexterity. Prioritizing diversity, keeping a balance between strong and weak system. Identify interim stage of transition. Sustaining top management commitment. Recognizing irreversible changes. Winning hearts and minds of a subordinate. Through direct communication, Terry should be suggested to build and exploit the existing capability of the employee along with developing new capability among them. Through this, he can clarify the special roles of the employee and encourage them to deliver their best effort for meeting FTE's vision. Transformational leadership also including stage of involvement and organization ambidexterity. Terry should be guided to replace the feeble existing capability of the employee with new capability by encouraging leadership, erasing structure, ambidexterity, prioritizing diversity, and keeping a balance between strong and weak system. However, that it's more important to change the stage in leadership. Thus, the FTE board of directors should motivate Terry to important change in his effective leadership style by identifying interim stage of transition, sustaining top management commitment, recognizing irreversible change, and winning the hearts and minds of subordinate. At the end of my speech, welcome the next speaker, Cui Kaijun.
Thank you, Liu Pan, for your wonderful speech. Hello, everyone. I'm Cui Kaijun, and I will continue the presentation. A change agent is a leader who operates across the organizational structure without the limitation of hierarchy. The primary task of the change agent is a drive change across an organization. Terry felt as a change leader because he isolated himself from internal functions and instead focused on external customer relations and Boardmaster Muravi. He did not develop a change program that would have incorporated the aspects of the design, recruitment and development and integration of the agent with the targeted organizational various, the program should have clearly defined roles of the various memberships as well as public reporting structure. Besides, Terry should have recruited effective leaders within the organization to drive the implementation of his changes. Terry should also have cultivated communication and collaboration with line managers. Maybe Terry failed to provide any consultation training research during the process. Also, Orgtech should utilize system innovation as well as system acupuncture to effect change. As a systems innovation, Terry should have addressed the pre-existing organizational flaws by designing new custom organization structure, modeling the desired structures, and determining the best way to implement them. So, system acupuncture Terry should have determining the pace of change, so a careful calibration of the change levels that pose minimal stream of the company need resolution productivity instead. Terry proceeded to implement advanced organizational system within a traditional system without any form of customization. Terry needed to function as both a lead and a manager to achieve his vision. After developing the leadership vision, the manager review work would in of developing the necessary structural changes and continuous monitoring of behavior. Change Terry, the lead ought to have invested time in building relationships with is followers, so architecture, new communication, collaboration. Also, he should have sought to earn the trust of the followers as a source of his operating focus and organization who exceeds as well as utilize stable communication as a matrix. He ought to have intruded consistent monitoring to ensure the works adhere to the company mission. The manager must focus on the job roles of each individual and ensure they do their work and plan for change. From the case study, Terry found in both roles of leadership and management indicate the failure to achieve the vision. Now that my speech is over, let Sule continue with our petition.
Hello everyone, my name is Sule. On the third question, my answer is Terry commented several mistakes that led to organizational instability, financial loss, less invention acts. Consequently, this report makes recommendations for future change based on the mix commented. The first mistake, the assuming the family-owned company was not professional. According to Ramakuti and the professionalization concerning family business also report the two hiring non-family staff on the full-time basis with the delegation of leadership authority. Terry has a perception that the family company was professional and herald the need to make for return reorganizational. As a result, he ignores the rich organization herald had succeeded the company successful in the past. How the Northwest order that both on nor family and family members can be professional leader if they have the recruits culture and the professional competence. According the measure, over 50% of successful American companies are family-owned. The first recommendations is that Taro should incorporate to company's historical structure, competitions, and expect employees and in development new organizational change. Taro should not do away with the effective organizational structure and should instead make forget modifications. The better should be for the future. There's a need to involve the family in making the should change because they are the one who's best understand the history of the company. According to Josh and Savastiva, an outsider should attend and not remove organizational compensation, science, family, business, server, and professional performance and attribute of product, as well as cost come and effect in the long run. The second mistake with the Taros creates the financial statement along the ways ahead to evolve only few top managers include the mission statement. A fitting recommendation is the evolved the include organizational in the past. Taro should collect opinion for the works on the management and they select the small team the crave the opinion into the collective vision and mission statement the highlight the desert future of the company. As a leader has room should be later the company into the collective defined future. The approach should involve the taking time the study the organizational and then evolve along the season management as well as strong work in the designing for reaching change. Taro should adapt the concept leadership style based on the strong desire, the access, take, change, and the transformation. The appropriate state with the transformation leadership style with its same time tied to utilize authorization and the democratic style of leadership. The use of warring style later, the organizational breakdown, and later of lack of the feedback loop. Consequently, Taro was not able to link the worked as well as agree the effect of the change in remote time. Except the demonetization also gave room to executive officer to make cost financial mistake without Taro's answerness. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the efforts of the previous students. Hello everyone, my name is Ri Ye. Next, I will continue to finish our presentation. The aim of the presentation was to assist my team to understand leadership practice with an organization or company, to comprehend different leadership styles as well as understand the impact of leadership in a business. The key president of the study focused on the leadership tally as the president of high-tech engineering. Despite the efforts Tally made in transforming his organization, he still had issues in the leadership which caused confusion in employee responsibilities, structural errors, employee discomfort, communication gap, operational mistakes, a large debt, employees' instability, and wrong decisions. The key finding were also that the leader may need to be the change agent who can operate the corporate structure without hierarchy limitation. Among the fundamental responsibility of the leader is to effectively and efficiently drive a change across an organization. Keeping that in mind, the change Tally made without the company failed because of the mistake he made in developing and implementing strategic decisions. The failures would have been avoided if he could have served as both a manager and a leader in creating the corporate visions and mission in addition to driving his subordinates towards achieving them. In general, the presentation assignment made my team learn about international leadership and the application of the separational theory. We all comprehend that the leader needs to use situational leadership in order to be effective. In managing both the employees and the subordinates, this means that the leadership style implemented needs to focus more on current circumstances the organization is experiencing together with the present need of team members. Due to the gap talent leadership, it was established that the company needs another shift to transformational leadership of time. In developing transformational leadership, it was evident that talent needs to prioritize diversity, search the top management commitment, improve new capability as structural ambidexterity, balance corporate strengths and weaknesses, and win the minds and heart of employees. To sum up everything, talent needs to implement and situational leadership styles in order to achieve the mission and vision of the company. The would involve directing team players, directing those across team members, supporting both the organization of employees achieving their professional and individual goals, and coaching employees to ensure continuous improvement. The leadership of talent needs to be done differently to prevent the company from creating more operational mistakes, reduce the rate of structural errors, improve communication, and assist in achieving the complete corporate vision.